Hello and welcome to the Daily BM. I'm Mike, and on this episode, we will be discussing our reliance on GPS and how not to get caught as a serial killer. I hope you enjoy the episode, and remember to like and subscribe.
Good morning, fuckers! It's another day at the Daily BM, and I have Michael with me. What's going on, brother?
Hey, everybody, welcome back. So glad to have you on Tech Talk Tuesday with myself and Mr. Bradley.
So what you got for me today, Michael? I'm sure it's going to be super entertaining as usual.
You know, the other day I was thinking, on technology we rely on, and sometimes maybe we rely on a little bit too much. And I realized over the last weekend that I rely on GPS and my phone maps way too much. Because when we were up in Utah, we were in an area where we didn't have any cell coverage, and we had to find a Wi-Fi signal to be able to put it in the map to figure out how to know where the hell we were going to get home. Because neither one of us paid any attention driving in at all. We just followed the GPS and just went where it told us. Didn't pay attention to street side or nothing. It's like turn right.
We were
so
too busy singing songs and windows down and enjoying the mountains and the weather. Next thing you know, where the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, and I realized, I didn't have a map. I didn't have any information. I would have known how to go anywhere. And there wasn't really a whole lot of people around to ask either,
No, there was nowhere, nothing where we were at.
So it got me thinking. I'm just like, okay, how much technology do we rely on a daily basis? I mean, I remember growing up, I used to know all my friends' phone numbers. I used to know their addresses. I used to know street signs, how to get places by landmarks. Now it's, I know a couple people's phone number. I know my wife's, I know my kids, I know yours. I can guesstimate yours, but other than that, it's just people's faces and names on my phone. I don't know their phone numbers. It's like, I'm here, put it on my phone. Don't know how to remember it. And locations, it's just I plug it in the GPS and I just go, and I don't even think about where I'm driving. I just literally have conversations, just follow the map, and it's kind of wild when you think about it, how much technology has replaced certain things that we used to do naturally.
I really feel like technology has made us stupid smart, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's made us smarter but stupid all at the same time because of the reliance on it. I remember growing up, and I know what you're going to say. You had to hand crank your car, but I remember growing up, and
you had cars. I thought you had to feed your cars back then. They were horses.
Go fuck yourself. Fuck you, Tom Brady. No, but my thing is, it's like, I remember my parents pulling out a map and sitting on the hood, putting it on the hood of the car, and they were just mapping out where they had to go. There was none of this, hey Siri, give me this, that, or the other. It was straight up, you figured it out. Many arguments in the car. I think, if anything, GPS cut down on the arguments, except for when you have your lady in the front seat going like this. You missed, if you would have just listened and you missed a turn, the bitch told you where to turn. You know what I mean?
Oh, I don't normally get that. You're bad about that shit, and then you're bad about blaming it on the GPS.
Dude, hey, you gotta admit, go fuck yourself. Coming out of Tampa International Airport, it is a clusterfuck to know where to get to I-4 from, because it doesn't say anything about it. It just says take Clearwater 60. You know what I mean? So it gets you confused.
Yeah, don't go to Clearwater. Clearwater's in the wrong direction. And then you're just cutting up score like a motherfucker.
Do not get me pissed off this morning, asshole.
Then you try to run people off the road because you're in such an asshole mode. I was like, Jesus Christ, Brad, calm the fuck down. But you know what made me think about it was I was watching Star Trek Discovery.
Mm-hmm.
And this is actually for any Star Trek. If they didn't have the computer, they would be completely fucked. Because every episode, they're like, hold on, I gotta quiet my Siri or my Alexa.
Speaking of which,
my Alexa's called computer in my office. Every episode they have a crisis, and they're like, computer, figure out X, Y, and Z, and then it spits out the answer. They're like, okay, we can do this. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I mean, they make it look like the people are smart because they come up with the idea, but really they could have probably just gone like, computer, what's the easiest way to solve this problem? And it'd be like, no problem. Initiating now. Sit back and relax. I've got this. You know what I mean? Like,
and that's what I meant, man. It makes us stupid smart. You know what I mean? It makes us more efficient, but I think it's dumbed us down a little bit. We're so reliant on the technology that we forget to do the things that, we could do on our own. So to
one
speak,
of my favorite quotes from Joe Rogan is from a comedy routine. He says, "Let me drop you off the woods with an axe and see how long it takes for you to send me an email."
Hey, there's a truth to that statement, man, for sure. He's got a point, bro. I mean, how many? What's kind of fucked up. I know this is kind of sideways from technology, but what's kind of fucked up? Humanity as a whole, how it would respond in a situation where an EMP blast would go off and we lost all our technology. Like,
oh well, I know exactly how it would be. Joe Rogan completely explained it in one of his comedy routines. I'd walk out of my house with a guy across the street, walk out of his house. We look at each other and go, "Hey, is your lights out?" "Yeah, mine too." "How about your TV?" "Yeah." "Shit. All right." Go back inside. A couple days later, come back. "Hey, is your power still out?" "Yeah, mine too." "Okay, at least I didn't pay. At least I was not paying the bill." We'll just sit around and wait until somebody else fixes this shit. And then, like a week and a half later, well, food that we devolve, we'll just start clubbing each other like baby seals, trying to steal each other's shit. Ugh. Me ugh.
Yeah, you'd see the worst of humanity come out during that crisis. But yeah, so getting back to the maps thing. So we were leaving like this uprising event, and basically, you called it. We couldn't get that Wi-Fi signal. I had no effing clue where to go. So driving back and forth down the street, trying to get a signal, trying to get the maps versus.
I mean, I kind of had an inkling, but I didn't trust myself enough to go in the route because I knew if we went to the church and took a left, that would take us out to that main road. But I didn't know once we got to the main road which way Las Vegas was. Is it left or right? I'd assumed left. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like I could have found our way out of there eventually. But I felt a whole lot better with the GPS when it was working.
I was going to say, I felt a whole lot better taking your word for it because there's a lot of mountains and there wasn't a lot of shit around. You know what I mean?
No.
So it was like, but it did tell me something though. Again, you have to pay attention to landmarks and you have to kind of maybe write shit out a little bit in your mind or on a piece of paper. It says, hey, I made a right on, 36. Hey, I made a left on this. And then you could follow it reversed on the way back if you had a problem where you lost your technology. I mean, I think that's what happens to a lot of people. They get out in themselves in a bad situation because they relied on the technology versus thinking of the survival skills themselves to get it done.
You're listening to the Daily BM.
You know who really lost out on the technology boom of the cell phone and GPS?
Who?
The rapists and the murderers.
Jeez.
And the robbers.
All right, so you just took this to a whole nother level. Explain.
Okay, I don't know if you watch like murder shows and stuff. My wife likes to watch murder shows, and I kind of have to watch them every once in a while with her, which they give me the major EBGBs. And when I get done watching them, I just don't trust anything or nobody. But back in like the 80s and early 90s and 70s, like people would have to they would get lost and they would have to stop at payphones to call people, and they would have to stop and get maps and then stop and ask for directions. And that is usually when they got abducted. They'd be in some strange place, strange area. They'd be at a payphone, and someone would come up behind them and abduct them because they'd be like, "Oh, look, there's a hot chick trying to call somebody for help at 2 a.m. in the morning. Let me just nab her ass."
Let me duct tape her to the seat.
Now with cell phones, like we were talking about the last episode, on a past episode, with the young lady that needed help, and everybody was like, "Well, she's got a cell phone. What does she need our help from?" It's like you could call people while you're driving. You don't have to stop and call on a payphone if you're running late or if whatever the situation was. and you have your phone that's giving you live directions as you're going, and it charges from the car. So unless you have a breakdown, there's really no reason to go like, stop at payphones or stop to get maps and stuff like that. I mean, you can stop at gas stations, but usually those are pretty well lit, and there's no issues because there's a bunch of people at the gas station doing the same thing. As opposed to like if you're in the middle of a town and you're lost, you got to pull over on a side street and look for a payphone, and they're usually in the darker, more rapey area. And
Wait, what's a more rapey area?
oh, that it's that area that it's not very well lit. It's kind of off the beaten path, kind of secluded looking. Got the little heebie-jeebie vibes. Yeah, it's like it's got the rapey vibes. It's like that's a rapey area.
Rapey vibes. First time I've heard that. The rapey vibes.
It's a rapey area. People know what I'm talking about. I think. I hope.
Yeah, but you're right though. I feel like
you never get that. Like you're walking down the street and like you look down an alley and you're like, somebody died over there. Like
or somebody will get killed.
Yeah, like
I've seen this in a horror film.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not going out like Thomas Wayne. Was it? Thomas Wayne, Bruce Wayne's dad and mom. Because I'm going down a back alley trying to take a shortcut. No, man, we're going the long way. Should have worked on your cardio. Let's go.
Yeah, anybody knows that if you've been to New York, you never cut down an alleyway ever. You know what I mean?
Anywhere.
It's like,
I don't think you cut down an alley anywhere. I don't trust the alleys here in Lakeland.
Yeah.
Shit.
Wait, why'd you get all shit, brah, shit, man? You don't ever turn down that shit. All of a sudden, you got black on me. I was just wondering.
No, because that's just street smarts, man. That's like street smarts. That's just like, if it looks sketchy, then avoid it. Like, let's not tempt fate, just so that way we can skip out on a little cardio.
Poor serial killers.
Yeah, no shit, dude.
Technology has completely ruined it for them, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, here's my thing, man. I don't know how in the modern era with technology and the way it is, like how serial killers get away with it at all. Like, I don't even know if the serial killers are on the rise or the decline, serial killings. But I don't know how you get away with all the cameras, all the technology that can snag you, cell phone locations.
All the
people are wearing watches.
Information. Yeah, all the tracking stuff you have on you now.
What are you going to do when they start like tracking people and embedding it under their skin? Cut their arm off and then abduct them? I mean,
that's what they do. That's what they do in futuristic movies. They normally cut the body part off and then just like leave. But
I'll think about this scenario. Jeffrey Dahmer, you're embedded with a chip. He eats you. Now the chip's in his colon. Snagged. Done.
His colon's pinging like 9 people. They're like, they're all right here. What the fuck?
And they're like, right next to his asshole.
Actually, what happened is they go right to a toilet. They'd be like, it's a pile of shit in the toilet. And be like, God damn it.
They're like, okay,
no, Billy, no. Why are you in the toilet?
All of a sudden it goes, hello. They all come out, man. No, but that's what I'm saying, though. It's like DNA and all this stuff, man. You can,
right.
I mean, no pun intended. You can get your ass nailed today. I mean, like, I just don't see why people think, hey, you know what? I really want to eat that guy or eat that chick. You know what I mean? She looks tasty. Let me kill her. With so much ways you can get caught now, even
but
way
then again,
more.
It adds a whole another level of like difficulty and challenge too. So
you have a good point.
If you like a challenge, be like, all right, let's see. Let me get some RF blocking stuff so I can block out the RF signal.
I don't know what's scarier, the fact that you just started like breaking down how you could do it, or what? Let me get an RF signal blocker, shirt and pants,
Yeah. No, just line your trunk with RF blocking stuff so that when we throw them in there, it's gone.
We in no way endorse or condone any activity that may happen, with serial killers.
And then, you steal somebody's dog and then you just put their wearable gadget on the dog and set the dog free and let it run away with it so that way they're chasing the dog.
Right now, some serial killers taking notes going, I really love these guys. Let me keep listening to them. Let me keep listening. Keep talking, Michael. Keep talking. So attach wearable devices to track on my animals, on their animals. Let their animals free. Okay. What's some other pointers, Mr. Serial Killer wannabe? You got anything else you want to enlighten the world?
What I'd like to see happen is like go to like a real big public place and just take a look at one of those mini like those little mini handheld vacs, like the keyboard vac, and vacuum up just a whole bunch of DNA walking through the airport, like hair follicles, all sorts of shits, and just throw it all over the scene of the crime before you leave. So there's literally like hundreds of people's DNA there.
Like I said, hey guys, if you're a serial killer or planning on being a serial killer, we're glad we could give you informative today and give you cliff notes on how to get away with shit.
Yeah.
But like I said, we don't back these practices at all, right? Or do you? I don't know. Maybe you're a serial killer in waiting. I don't know. If I come up missing, please. It's Mike.
Well,
that's all I'm going to say.
That's the first rule of serial killing. It has to be a complete random act of violence. It can't be someone anywhere associated with you, because that will get you caught. It has to be a complete stranger.
You are literally scaring the shit out of me, dude. You've watched too many shows and you got way too many ideas, man. I can't even think of. See, I'd be the dumbass serial killer. I'd get caught immediately. Like immediately I get caught. I'd do some dumb shit. They'd be like, this is how stupid he was. I'd be on like Grady Judd, or, he'd be like, hey, this dumbass right here, he went ahead and left his wallet behind with his ID in it. That'd be the dumb shit I'd do. I'd drop my wallet or something. Hi, come get me. I live at so-and-so address. But Mike would be like, dun, 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 vacuum, RF blockers, non-traceable duct tape. Dun, dun, dun. You'd have this whole laundry list of shit. You would break it down analytically. That's what's scary. You remind me of that movie, Mr. Brooks.
Dun, dun, dun.
If you've never seen it.
I would wear clothes with gloves, have my gloves duct taped off, so that way nothing would be going on. I'd be completely clean shaven.
No DNA whatsoever.
No DNA, like very, very minimal to no DNA.
Damn. Yeah, but now our DNA is in the database, so
then I go out. Anyway. I go out in the woods and burn all that shit.
So getting back to the GPS stuff. So what would you recommend people do to not be so relied on it? I mean, what would be your recommendation? I mean, what are you going to do differently? And now that we've kind of identified that, fuck, man, we got lost.
Not travel.
And there you have it, guys. Just don't travel, have no life, be boring, and you'll be just fine.
I actually thought about possibly, I don't know, getting a map or just being better prepared and having the stuff downloaded onto my electronic device prior to, like, the area, so that way it's already preloaded. Because the problem was downloading the maps, not the actual GPS signal. Like, it knew we were, it just didn't know how to get us from point A to point B because it didn't have any of the map points.
Right.
So I think that would be probably the thing I would do, is just download the map offline, so I would have it for the area that I'm going to, especially if I know it's going to be more off the grid, and possibly maybe have some paper backups, because they're not that expensive. Is that
available on Google Maps and Apple Maps, the downloading feature, or is it only available on Apple Maps? Do you know?
Fuck if I know about Google. I don't use that shit.
So if you're on a Droid, you're probably fucked. But
I don't know. I mean, fuck. Gosh,
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. They usually kind of try to match each other in those technologies, so that no one has an advantage. But I know on Apple Maps there is a download feature to download those GPS locations and maps that you want to map out. So hey, I implore you. We learned firsthand that you have to have that downloaded, because if not, you don't have that Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
you're fucked. And if you don't have, it'd be a good idea to have a paper backup map too.
Yeah, I don't think a paper backup would be a bad idea. Just because you never know. And it's better to have it, not need it, than to need it, not have it. So
boom. Well, listen, guys, we hope you enjoyed today's Tech Talk Tuesday, or Tuesday Tech Talk, however you want to say it. But don't forget to head over to thedailybm.com. That's where you can find us on all our socials, and you can also find us on Rumble and on YouTube as well. Subscribe to that. Mike, you got any final thoughts and final words before we get out of here?
Yeah, just remember, if you're going to kill somebody, that you do your homework first to make it a little harder to get caught.
And from my co-host partner, the future serial killer, remember, he's the one. If I show up dead, it was Mike. And with that, we'll catch you guys on the flip side.
I do not condone that message. Remember, I said it has to be a random act of violence. If he winds up dead, blame his wife. Everybody have a good day.
Deuces.